Welcome back to Almost Above Average. I just had a great conversation with the mayor of Apex, North Carolina, Mr. Jacques Gilbert, and we talked about a lot. We talked about where he grew up. We talked about Apex. We talked about the current political state. We talked a lot about men's mental health and made some plans on taking some action on that front later next year. It was a really good conversation. I'm very grateful to the mayor for his time, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Here is Mayor Jacques Gilbert. Mr. Jacques Gilbert, Mayor of Apex, North Carolina. How are you?
Hey man, I am doing fantastic. I've been waiting for this opportunity for so long, Chris. So it's good to be here on a cold, wet Monday evening. And I prefer to be inside talking with you. How about that?
I like that. I like that. I think originally we were going to try to do it outside, and this morning I looked outside. It was like cold and rainy. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, but maybe
But
maybe
nonetheless,
for if we do another episode in the future, maybe we can plan something out during the day or something.
hey, I'm with it, man. Just name the time and place. I'll be there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the Almost Above Average podcast and welcome. I do want to get into your political views. I want to see what's going on in Apex. I do want to get your opinion on the broader national political things that are happening. But before we, and I do want to talk, we talked last year about some mental health. You did a big event. I do want to get into that towards the end because it's something that really hits home with me. So we'll get into that. But before we do that, I wanted to hear your story a little bit. I spent like an hour reading your history, and that is a long history. But I wanted to hear it from your perspective. So who are you and where do you come from?
Hey man, thank you for that. There's as with you and everyone who has a breath and a heartbeat. Everyone has a story, man, and my story is I consider myself still to be a young man who came from 600 First Street, which is the was the projects of Apex. Many people who live here now wouldn't even know that we had projects in Apex
I
years
was about
ago.
to question it because I lived in Apex for a little bit. I'm like, projects? Like where? I thought I lived in the projects in Beaver Creek.
No, you guys were high end for sure, but yeah, it's considered a historic Black community of the town. So if you Chris, you're familiar with Highway 55 because that is, Beaver Creek 55 going west. But if you come back east, there's a tap station at the intersection, and that 55 splits the downtown corridor with the other side of 55, and the other side was is a Black community. So that was kind of the dividing line. So I lived on the south side, and now it wasn't the line wasn't created, the cut through for 55 wasn't created for that, but became this identifying, defining point to where when you cross over, you were heading into the Black communities. So going south, and then there's a funeral home there called Albright Funeral Home. If you make a right there, that's where all the projects were. There were buildings there that were clubs. They call them juke joints. There was also
Juke joint? Is
prostitution
that an old school
houses.
name for a dance club?
Yeah, something like that. And then they
Okay.
had there was prostitution there. I mean, it was so much going on. It was nothing for me to walk outside and just stuff going on. So that's what I grew up in.
You're
It
born and
was
bred in Apex then.
born and bred in Apex, yeah. And so I will say this, again, going back to my story growing up here, I really thought my way out of the projects was going to be a basketball player. I thought I was a great basketball player until my senior year in high school. I was like, I'm gonna go out for the team, and I really respected Phil Ford. I don't know if you even know who Phil Ford is. Oh my gosh, man! Come on, Chris.
Yeah,
You a
I'll get
baller or
there,
what,
man. I'm
man?
4 years in North Carolina. I'll get there, man.
So Phil Ford was he was the best point guard I've ever seen play the game. He played for the University of North Carolina. He's
Wait, better than
Olymp-
Jordan? He also played for the University of North Carolina.
yeah, he did. Different time, but Ford could just do some unbelievable things with the basketball. He was a floor leader. He was a point guard, and he's a Olympian as well. He's a gold medalist. Team USA back before Jordan got on the team. So, anyways, he was number 12, and I thought I was Phil Ford. Everybody has that idol. So my senior year in high school, I was a small, meek young man. I think I weighed like 98 pounds at the time, and I'm gonna try out for the team. Coach Griggs, he said, final cuts, he pulled me over. He said, hey, I got to talk to you. He said, you're a great basketball player, but you're just not good enough for my team. And that just like, what? Ouch, I know. But it devastated me mentally because I really thought I was the one. So I didn't have a plan. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was kind of like thinking of NC State, and I really liked horticulture. I was in the FFA, Future Farmers of America, but it wasn't my thing. So I was lost. I was like, I don't even know what to do now.
Hmm.
So my dad, he worked for the town of Cary. He was a water operations manager, and he said, "Hey, their jobs here. They're hiring water meter readers." And so that's what I did right out of high school. I went to Wake Tech and I started reading water meters.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Sounds
it was,
exciting.
yeah, it was so exciting that I said 2 years of this is too much. And walking around in the hot sun, just reading water meters. And then when it was really cold, like it is, today, what it was today, it's like freezing. You go into those meter boxes, there's water in there. You got to dip the water out to read the meters, and
No
spiders and
motivation to go
snakes.
out today and read a meter.
No, 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 no. It has to be done, but it's just not Jacques Gilbert to do it. So it was a friend of mine, and I'm getting a little bit deeper in the story, but a friend of mine, Phil Howard, he was reading water meters before me. And so when I came on, I worked with him like for a year and a half. And then he transitioned out and started working for the Raleigh Police Department. So he was sharing all of these things that he was doing at Raleigh Police Department. And he said, "Why don't you consider becoming a police?" And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I can't do that, man."
Why
And
not?
his response, yeah, exactly. That's what Phil said. Why not? And
Right.
I said, "Man, I'm from the streets. Like that is not going to be accepted in my community." And he just like stopped me in my tracks, and he said, "So you're going to let other people determine what you want to do in life?" And I said, "Phil, I can't do it, man. I like that. They would disown me." And so it took another 4 months, and then he just kept sharing more. He didn't push me. He just kept sharing more, and then it just became more and more interesting. And then I said, "Hey, man, what do I need to do?" And he said, "Well, I think the best avenue is for you to put yourself through the basic police academy." And that's what I did. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
Did you pay for yourself to go
I sure did. I went to Wilson Tech, Coastal Plains Police Academy. I drove 1 hour there in the morning and 1 hour back.
with your
And
meter reading money?
with my yeah, meter reading money. Exactly. Good
Yeah.
job, man. I like that. You're good. You're good.
I'm
So yeah,
listening,
I
man.
had saved up some money. I saved up some money, and it was tough. I mean, I didn't. I had to really pinch some pennies. So I was going to school during the day, and then I worked at a drugstore at night, and then I would study while I was at the store. And blessing God, I got through it, man. And 1990, the Apex Police Department gave me an opportunity. And but before that, man, when I was really trying to figure it out, I got interviewed by the lieutenant at the time, Steve Adams, and I was so nervous, Chris. I walked in there because I had this thing about police officers, and they were bad people. It was what I had been trained, from generation to generation. That's correct. Yeah. And I had to break through that barrier, and it was tough. And he said, "Relax, man. It's all good." He tried to crack jokes, and I was just like,
Well, they've gotta be trying to convince you that cops are alright. Like, you're coming from a different place where you kinda hate cops or you view them in a negative light, so they have to undo all that in training, right?
"That's right. That's right.
Did you
Yeah,
develop a passion for police work during that?
I sure did." It became because everything, when I made that decision, I didn't share this before. When I went back home and I bragged to my community members, "Hey, I'm going to become a police officer." It was like I just shared with them, I'm going to become this villain of the town. And they was like, "We don't want to have anything to do with you, man. You're a traitor." I mean, I got called all the names. So, you know, the first 10 years of my police career was that. I had to not only deal with people, right, that I came in contact with in the performance of my job, but it was also my community. They was like, "We don't rock with you, man." And so
Your community
that
turned
was
their back on you.
for the most part.
Oof. And then
But
did
after
you have to work that area?
I did, yeah. But after 10 years, I don't know what it is about the number 10, but I remember it just so vividly. 10 years, man, they all just turned around. I became the hero. I don't know why.
Disappeared?
It's just like, hey, you prove yourself. I think it was more of that.
It's kinda like waves on a beach, just keep crashing. Eventually, it's just like, "Alright, apparently
Yeah.
he's good."
Yep. That's
So,
right.
how old were you when you got into after you graduated from the academy and started with the Apex Police?
Yep. So I was 20 years old. So I had just turned 20 when I
Dang.
took the oath. Yeah. So
Okay.
in
You
North
were
Carolina, you can be
young. Were you
20.
a beat cop?
Yeah, sure did. I did that for my first 9 years. And then we had this thing going with the high school, Apex High School. We were working in conjunction with the Wake County Sheriff's Office. They would, before there was actually formal school resource officers, they would have a deputy there at Apex High School from the morning when the bell rang to start
Mhm.
school till noon. And then at noon till the end of school day, an Apex police officer would go there. And I always volunteer for that because I love working with youth. I coach, youth basketball. So it's just like I want to be around youth. I want to impact youth. It was just something I had a passion for.
Right.
So in 98, they formed a full-time school resource officer position, and I put my name in the hat and went through the process, and I was named the first SRO for Apex. And
Nice.
and I did that for 7 years, and that was a highlight of my career. I really
Really?
love doing that.
The highlight of
Yes,
your career. You're a mayor of
the
Apex, and
highlight.
you're telling me being a police
That
officer at
was
a
the
school was
highlight.
your highlight.
Man, when you see like what youth go through, like things you would have never thought. And I'm talking about youth that are driving brand new BMWs and Mercedes and sports cars to the campus in student parking, and then later on that day they're in my office crying that they're missing something in life. They don't get to see their parents. Their parents work all. It's just all kind of things. So I just was an ear, man, and they were magnetized by it. Like they was like, I gotta go see Officer Gilbert. I gotta go see Officer Jacques. They call me Officer
I
Jock,
can see it.
Jock.
You're a very
Yeah.
captivating human. Like, you demand attention, just how you are. I don't know
Wow.
why that is, and I think that I can see it in your content. Like, you're very captivating in your content. I love it.
Man, I appreciate that. God
That's
be the glory.
probably the thing that
You
got
man.
you so close with those kids.
Hey, it could have been, man. I was just trying to be there for them, man. And but going back to your like, it was just my thing, man. I just felt like it was my calling. I was so comfortable with it, and now I get to see them. They all have families. It's just full circle moments
Yeah.
there, and it felt like I planted the seeds early, and the seeds actually bear. They did bear fruit, and they're
How
doing great.
fulfilling is that?
Man, so fulfilling, man. I just can't. And they remind me, we voted for you too because you took care of us in high school.
Right. Right.
So that worked out. Yeah.
That is beautiful. You did that for 7 years, and at 7 years, what were you like, "Alright, I'm done with this. What's the next thing?" Was that when you jumped into
No, man.
politics?
I was, 7 years at that time. I wanted to do, continue to do more of it. And we had a new police chief, Robert Boone, came in from Florida, and he's like, "Hey, this is a new age policing. This guy's very progressive." He said, "Jacques Gilbert, I see something in you." He said, "You got to come out of the high school." And I said, "No, I don't want to come out of high school." He said, "I'm pulling you out of the high school." He said, "I see something bigger in
Okay.
you." I said, "Please don't pull me out of high school." He said, "You coming out." He said, "I'm sending you to instructor school. You're such a great officer. I need you on the road, training our new officers." And he said, "And I see you're promotable. So I'm going to get you where you need to be." And I was devastated.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad he did it, Chris. I'm so glad he did it because he pushed me. And that led to me being an instructor. I taught what is called subject control and arrest techniques, which is defensive tactics for police officers. I
Mhm.
taught physical fitness, rapid deployment, taser instruction, all those things. And it pushed me outside of my comfort zone because I was a really shy guy. I didn't like to talk in front of people. I wouldn't even say two words. I will shrink in a room. So it put me in a spotlight that I had to stand in front of people and talk. And I bombed the first few years, man. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. But he said you just got to keep doing it, consistency, and it worked.
That's it. Public speaking is hard.
It is so hard, man.
I
It's so
still suck
hard.
at it.
No, I can't see that at all. I already know you the man.
Well, it
It's about the
depends on
way
the
you talk.
situation. Like, if I have my confidence about me, if I have to drum it up all of a sudden and pop in front of a crowd, it's like I'll melt down.
Wow, wow, yeah. Well, for me, it became a just keep doing it, just keep doing it, just keep doing it, and it worked out. So when he pulled me out, I did that, and then I went for
Wait, you went
promotion.
from straight from the SRO at the high school to training police officers?
Yep, training, and then I
Okay.
got promoted to sergeant. He promoted me to sergeant like
Dang, okay.
within 6 months, like outside of that, and then it went from corporal to sergeant, and then I went from sergeant to captain,
Dang.
and then I led all the divisions. I did patrol, I did criminal investigations, gang unit, I did it all, man. I became the captain over the SROs. I did. I tried to go into every single department to get that experience. And then T19 is when I had 29 years, and then I had a year sick time built up, and I was at year 29, and this is going to be a cool. I'm leading to something here. So this sergeant who had a few more years more than me, he walked in my office as a captain. He said, "Cap, it's my last day here. I just want to come by and pay my respects. I appreciate everything you did for my career to help me." He said, "When are you going to retire?" I said, "A year. That'll give me 30 years." So he walks out the office, and then he comes back in. He said, "Wait a minute. Didn't you work for the town of Cary? You told me you did that out of high school." I said, "Yeah, I sure did. What does that have to do with anything?" He said, "What about the 2 years? Why wouldn't you use that towards your retirement?" And Chris, I had totally forgot
Mic
about it.
drop.
Yeah, exactly. So Greg Towell, Sergeant Greg Towell, he's a guy that told me that he's my hero because I
Gave
I
you
called
two
the
years
state.
off.
He gave me, yeah, I called the state, and they said, "Yeah, you got 2 years in the bank. You can use it. It's municipal government time." So
Yes.
it worked, man. So I got out. I remember walking into the chief's office like the next week. I went home and prayed with my family, and it was time to go. When you just know, you know. And so I walked in, and this was in April of 2018. And I said, "Hey, man, I'm going to retire." And he said, "Yeah, yeah, in a year." And I said, "No, um,
Yesterday.
this year." Yeah, exactly. And he said, December. I said, "Nope." I said, "It's going to be actually June." And he said, "No way." And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can you please just stay a year?" He said, "You have all of those instructor certifications, and we have no one to take those and run with it. So can you please just stay part time and get us through the year until we get someone else trained?" And that's what I did.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah. Hmm.
I will say I've
Yeah.
dealt with the Apex PD a couple times, and every time I have, they have all been professional.
Good. That's
Yeah, it
good,
was
man. I like
I
to
had
hear
a good
that.
experience. Where I'm from back home, my experiences were very bad. But out
Yeah.
here, I've really liked the police. I think it seems like they go after criminals instead of just harassing people and trying to find a crime. Like where I'm from, they would pull you over and try to find something. Like over
I
here,
will
it
tell
seems
you
like
though.
they show up when there's an actual reason.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I'm always transparent. Going through the police academy in 1989, you were trained to do that. You're trained to just find a way, like find a way to get into that car, find a
Right.
way to, and yeah, I was trained that way and then it just hit me like, this isn't why we should be, this isn't why we exist. Like, we do like identify crime and address it, but we can also help people in the process. And that's what type of officer I was. There are people that had they were in some situations, and I went in a different direction, and they are so happy today that I chose a different course of action for them, and it helped them be successful because I believe in that. I believe everyone shouldn't be fed with the same spoon because everybody's in a different place. We all in a different place, and some people, this may work, this may work for somebody else. So that's how I police.
You big believer in de-escalation?
100%. You have to be, and I think that's helped me as we get into like the next part of my career, which has been 6 years as a mayor. It's really helped me navigate through situations and work with people to have that skill set as a police officer.
Right. So at
Yeah,
this point, you've had a full career, fulfilling career as a police officer, starting at the bottom and ending as a captain.
that's correct.
So how does that after that? How do you jump into politics? Do you have a year off and you're walking around like I'm bored? What should we do?
No, well, interesting. So again, that 2018, man, that was a retirement, official retirement full time, but I stayed on part time for a year. Well, transitioning into January of 2019, it's a moment, man, of God. I was sitting in what is known as the mayor's state of the town. So if you think about the State of the Union address that the president does, okay? So every year the mayor does that in every city and town. So they basically give the vision of the town or what their agenda is, and then they talk about the accomplishments of the previous year. So I'm sitting in a room where the previous mayor was there doing the state of town. I knew him very well. And I was sitting there, Chris, and his voice kept saying, why not you? Why not you? And I'm like, why not me? And then it was like, yeah, mayor. And because I wasn't done. I want to still give to Apex, but I didn't know how to do it or what to do. And So I went home, and my daughter and I are really close, Calabria. And Calabria at the time was working for the chamber. And she said, Dad, that's interesting because I ran into the mayor like a couple of weeks ago. And he said, hey, I noticed your dad retired. And my daughter said, sure, yeah, he did. He said, well, tell him I need 4 more years. Now, I hadn't said one word about running for office. Then he hadn't even been on my mind. It was kind of like he had this thought that I was want to be mayor. Now we had released a very interesting video that I said on to my next assignment, but we didn't know what that assignment was. So when talking with my wife and daughter, they were like, why not? Why wouldn't you do it? And my son said, Dad, you're already the mayor. You just don't have the title because everybody knows you.
I could see it.
So, I said, you know what, we're gonna go for it. And he had just announced his reelection, like he was running for reelection that January, the same in that room. So he had made it official. And so I was like, man, am I gonna do this? And along the way, he kept calling me saying, hey, would you like to be like on a committee for the town? And I knew then he's like, he's really concerned about me running. And I said, no, I'm not interested in that.
He's gently pushing you into the mayor spot, seems like.
Well, I think he was gently trying to push me into a spot outside the
You need
mayor's
to
office.
serve, Jacques. Get up here.
Yeah. Well, he was saying you need to serve in a I don't want to say a role that's beneath, but that's essentially what he was saying. He was like, you need to sit on the planning board for a little while before you run for mayor. That's so okay. He was like, and I can make that happen. And I said, nah, not interested. So I was like, no, I'm running for mayor. So when I made the announcement, he actually backed out.
Really? He
Yeah,
bowed
yeah,
out.
he did.
He's
He
like, you
bowed
got
out.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just literally walked in and the seat was given to me, which by the way, this is going to be another story. And I know I'm really giving you a lot here, but it
Give
all
me the
comes
juice.
together. I'm sitting in a barbershop within that same week of when I would say the voice of God say, hey, what about you? This guy he sits beside me in the barbershop. I'm waiting to get my hair cut. And he says, hey, my name is Pastor Austin. And I said, oh, what's up, man? Never met you. He was like, what? He said, what do you do? He never even met me before. And I said, I'm a police captain. Yeah, I just retired. I said, I'm, part-time and everything. He said, oh, okay. Just got quiet. We're just small talking in a barbershop. 15 minutes later, he said, hey, I'm a prophet. And I said, oh, really? Okay. And he said, you're going to be the mayor of Apex. Never talked to this guy before in my life.
You ever seen him before?
Nope. Never seen this guy.
God is telling you in so many ways.
And I said, oh no. I said, I don't do politics. I said, I'm not a political guy. He said, okay. That's all he said. So when I filed
6
for
months later, you're in
candidacy,
office.
so he called me, he got my note. He said, I thought you didn't want to be the mayor. Didn't I tell you so? And I was like, wow. So
That is crazy.
it is really wild, man. And so it made a believer out of me. And here I am 6 years later.
That is an incredible story. That story, how you explained it, is how I actually came to believe in God. Like, I used to be an atheist 4 years ago. But
Is that
things
right?
like
Wow.
that, coincidences like that were just too perfect to explain. After so many of them happened, I was like, that has to be
Yes,
be
sir.
God.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
how I
Yeah.
understand. Okay, so now you're the mayor of Apex. That was 2019 you were elected?
That's correct. It's 4 year
Awesome.
term. So I got reelected in 2023. So
Okay.
so I'm on this is year 2 of my second 4 year term. So
How
I
was
got
the
2 years left.
campaigning? It was probably your first political campaign. Did you even have to campaign?
I didn't have to, but I did because I wanted that experience and I wanted people to know, I take it seriously. I'm not just going to, just because I'm the only one on the ballot, which is an honor, by the way, which people said, no one wants to run against you. So so doing that, I just ran. I still put out signs. I still did my, door knocks and went to different events. And I even participated in the forums as if I had someone on the stage I was running against. So then there were so many things that happened in my first term that I really thought I'm going to have a challenger this year because I made some decisions that people really didn't rock with. Maybe some of the questions you asked me, it'll kind of come out, flesh out in there. But people kept saying, and my daughter said, she said, Dad, nobody's going to run against you. I promise you. And I said, nah, it's gonna happen this time. So in 2023, no one filed.
Huh. Easy
I
peasy.
essentially, yeah, easy. So I still put out signs for that as well. And again, I want people to know that I take this seriously, and it's not just, hey, we're giving this to you. I want people to know who I am,
Mhm.
and I'm a, people first is my campaign motto. People first, and that's who I am.
I
I'm
think
not
that's what I
sure,
like about you is you're accessible, you're in the community, like where your constituents are. Like I don't see any other
sir.
politicians doing that kind of stuff.
Wow,
Like you're in
thank you, man.
businesses and with actual community members. I love seeing that. That shows a lot of how genuine you are with the community, how much you
Thank
care
you,
about the
man.
community. So I can see
Thank
it.
you, Chris. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I told you my son was the one who introduced me to you anyway.
Yeah,
Like, "You ever
yeah,
see the
that's right.
mayor's TikToks or, content?" I'm like, "No." I looked you up all jealous, like, "Why is his content better than mine?"
And then I saw yours. I'm like, man, I gotta connect with this guy because I was just really rocking with your experiences in life, and that's how I am, man. I'm like, I want to talk with the people who have life experience, man,
Yeah.
because we can learn from each other.
Absolutely, that's what the whole reason for the podcast. I'll tell you quickly. I started this podcast because I'm a recovering alcoholic. I heard a story 4 years ago in a AA meeting that completely changed everything about my life. Like, I wasn't feeling the AA thing, and I was just going because people quit when they go. And so I'm sitting in this room just depressed about my life. And this guy behind me is 2 years sober, and he tells my story. He tells everything that I'm feeling, everything that I went through. And I'm like, that moment is when I started believing in God. Like
Yes, sir.
he said my story. I didn't even talk to the guy, and it just connected with me so much. And through the months after that, I was like, that was so powerful for me. If I can collect stories like that from other people and blast them out to the world, how many people can I help? Let's see. We'll
Yes, sir.
figure it out.
Man, you got it, man. You got it going on for sure.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I was thinking of that story while you were telling me about how you became a mayor, because that's how I believed in God. That's how I came to it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
Awesome, man. Beautiful.
So now that you've been the mayor for 6 years.
6 years. Yes.
So what do you think are the biggest issues facing Apex today?
We're one of the fastest growing towns in not only North Carolina but in the United States. I often say we're in a hot region, and what I mean by that is Wake County is attracting so many people at an alarming rate because of the quality of life. People are really saying we got to get there. We got to get there yesterday, and it's interesting when I walk up and down Salem Street as I do weekly. I run into so many different people, and I ask them, "How did you get here? Why did you come here?" And many of them say, "Well, I moved here because my kids live here now. My grandchildren are here, so I want to be around them, or vice versa. Children are saying I want to be close to my parents." And we love Apex. It has this small town feel. There are people who just go visit the historic downtown, which is we call it the crown jewel. They love the feel, and I've had people say, "Hey, what can you like recommend me to a real estate agent right now? I got to move here." So it's really interesting. So what comes with that, Chris, is I'm sorry, my dogs might be barking. You might hear them. What comes with that is growth brings more people, which brings more affordability issues. Because when there's a demand, I don't think most people really understand this. When there's demand, you can increase house prices and rental fees and all that stuff because you don't have enough stock, right, to accommodate all the people. So what do? You jack the prices up. And that's what we're seeing in Wake County, really all over North Carolina. And the only way to really counter that is to build more houses, okay? Because that comes with density, and well, so you want to go that direction and say, oh, we can do that. Well, now that creates a whole nother problem. So when you're building density, now you got to think about transportation, right?
Right.
So the infrastructure
And
is way
education.
behind,
Like, where's
and
the schools?
education, schools. So it's really a complex issue that no one really saw coming because it just happened. And when we got that ranking as the number one small town in America
Really?
in 2015 by Money Magazine, it's just like they opened the floodgates. Everybody moved here. And I was a police officer then, so I knew it was coming, but no one knew it would grow exponentially like what we're seeing today. So when you ask the question, biggest challenge facing Apex, you as a mayor, it's the growth. Now, I'm
Trying to
going to
keep
sum it
up
up.
with services because the growth is so big, trying to
Yes.
accommodate. I get it. Okay.
Yep. Now the overall, I don't normally answer that question that way. Here's what I normally say. The biggest challenge facing Apex is really this: effective communication. Because if we don't effectively communicate with the residents and the residents don't communicate with us, we can never identify what is the best moves for Apex going forward, not only next year, but 10, 15, 20 years, because you have to have buy-in on both sides. And the leaders need to listen to the people, and the people need to also hear from the leaders. And as we continue to get bigger, larger as a community, more people moving in, the way to communicate, you have to be creative. You have to find out ways of reaching people in different ways, which is why I do a lot of social media, because I believe that's where the people are. And if you don't find a way to engage the people, I think it's a recipe for disaster, because you're not building a model for the people. You're building a model just for what you think as a community, as a leader. And so I think that's our biggest challenge.
Okay. I love that town. When does a town become a city? Is it a population thing?
It is a population thing, but you can hold on to it as long as you want. It doesn't mean you have to like say we're a city. And I'll give you an example. Like Cary has over 100,000 people, 100, maybe at 130, 150. And typically they say if you're over 100, you become a city. But Cary still holding on to the town of Cary. And I see Apex doing the same thing. As long as I'm a leader here, it's going to be the town of Apex.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe in that small town vibe. And
Yeah.
small town isn't just based on population geography, in my opinion. It's based on your experience.
Right. Is that why you're out knocking doors? How often are you out in the community knocking on doors?
Often, I'm intentional about every week, every Friday, I'll get out unless there's some conflict, but I'll get out of my office and go knock on a minimum of 10 doors, residential doors, and just show up at people. And there's like, why are you knocking on my, like, it's you. Like, yeah, yeah. What do you want?
What
I just
concerns
want to
you?
hear
Tell
from
me
you.
about your experience in my city.
Yeah,
Town.
that's it. That town.
Town.
That's right. Get it right,
Sorry.
Chris. Because I think that sends a message too. Like I'm, as you said, I'm in a community, but also this is what I don't, it really irks me to see, I'm gonna call them politicians. They show up at the barbershop. I call them like the every 4 year haircut or beard trim. And then you don't see them again until 4 years. They knock on your door. You don't see them again until 4 years later, 3.5 years later. So I want people to know, no, I don't knock on doors just during campaign time. It's
This is
I'm your
the end of the
mayor.
system.
This is it. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm out, and then going to businesses. What you see in my videos is just, I'm just trying to highlight business. There's no contractual agreement like you give me money. Like I can't do that. I mean that's
No.
unethical.
Right.
But I just do it because I'm all about economic impact, and the small business owners are the economic engine of our town. So that's what I do.
And I think it helps to see you out in the community like that. Like that really shows that you are a part of the community. You're not just one of these guys that makes the rules and no one ever sees. Do you ever do any town halls in Apex?
I do. Yes. So interesting you asked that. That's a very touchy subject.
Okay.
So my town halls are not at the town hall. They're not at a municipal building. I do my town halls in the community. So in other words, like Sweetwater, I just did one in Sweetwater. I was like, no, we're going to do the town hall in your community. Here's why I do that is because if people got to drive to the town hall, first of all, they're going to be like, that becomes a barrier because it sounds official,
Right.
and they may not be open and communicate the same as if they're in their own environment.
I
So I
love it.
take it to them. I take it to them. Now, my
I love it.
colleagues on council, they don't like it. They're like, no, it has to be in a municipal building. And I've kind of done my own thing. So mine is called the mayor in the community town halls. And it's become this friction, which it don't need to be. That's just what I believe in, and I won't back away from it.
I think that's thoughtful. That is very intuitive. Like I know if I'm going to go to the courthouse or a city hall or something, I'm going to dress nice. There's going to be a certain amount of I need to be proper, and I need to these words I can only say. I can't say these things. Like you're on your heels, and you're not going to be real. So for people to give you real information, you want to get them where they're at, where they're feeling most natural, right? That makes a lot of sense.
100,
Why is there any
100.
contention on that?
Yeah, hey, maybe you can interview them and find out.
I will. Guys, jump on the podcast. Let's talk about it. All right. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it don't have to be that, but yeah, that's what I do, man.
What is our breakdown here just in the Raleigh Durham Triangle? Are we mostly Democrats? Is there a lot of Republicans in this area?
No, man, this area has become very, very as blue as they say. And this past election, municipal elections, it really shocked a lot of people. And when they said there was a blue wave is swept a lot of people out of office.
Hmm.
And a couple of friends of mine, like they were good people, like, and they were like, while they did have Republican affiliation, they were not like bad people. They really worked well with me and they really took care of people, but they just got hit because they had that label, which is why I don't like labels.
Yeah.
Uh, and it cost them their seat, and they were good people. So to answer your question, yeah, it's the blue wave has definitely come in and has changed the course of. I mean, our council has been all Democrat for since 2019
Okay.
and hasn't changed yet. And it's happened now in our neighboring towns and cities.
Yeah. The way I see the political atmosphere, maybe the whole country, is like there's Democrats and there's Republicans, and then there's MAGA. And the Republicans don't want to be associated with MAGA, and the Democrats and Republicans have most things in common. Like
That's
I
correct,
would
man.
consider
Yeah.
myself a Democrat, but during the Biden presidency, I came a lot more to the right. I wasn't terribly happy with what he was doing. I think we got some stuff done, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, yeah, Biden, he's crushing it.
I think you and I agree on that for sure. And and
Yeah.
and that's to your point. That's right. We have to find areas where we agree, and that's where I'm at. I'll talk to anybody. I'll take pictures with a Republican as long as it's for the best interest of Apex, and it doesn't go outside of my morals and character and integrity. I'm
Right.
with it. Yeah.
What do you think about the what's going on national politics right now?
One of the things I often talk about, you love this. And speaking of barbershops, like when with the last election, I walk in and there's everyone in there. There's Mr. Mayor. What are your thoughts about who's the best candidate for president? And I'll say, you know what? I'm gonna answer that for you if you can answer the question correctly that I'm going to ask you first. Deal. So some of these people are not they may be from Apex, others are from Roundwood County. So I was like, hey, you first. Where you live at? Raleigh. Okay, if you answer this question, if you can get it right, put your phone down. I will answer your question about the election. Tell me who your mayor is. I don't even know. Okay, so you struck out. Let me talk to you. Where you from? Durham. Who's your mayor? I don't know. Can you name one council member? No. My point, Chris, is this: 5% of the decisions that I and my colleagues make for our residents, we do it. It's about quality of life. The president, Congress, maybe 5%. So my point is, why are you putting your focus in DC when you should really be putting your focus in local, 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 local? We control the tax rate. We set your utility billing rate, transportation, sidewalks, parks, community engagement, police, how they treat you. That's all on us. So my point is this: like, I do follow national politics, but not as much as you think.
It's
So
hard to get away from, right? I mean,
yeah,
if you're political in any fashion at all, if you open up social media, you're gonna get it.
that's
So that's
correct.
why I was asking. But yeah, if you're not paying attention to it, you got a lot going on in Apex to worry about.
But yeah, to get back to your question, it is I wish it didn't have to be the way it is. It's become very polarized, and it does impact our community because now you have two people who once got along, they're now enemies. They don't even talk to each other anymore because they've made it about, hey, if you talk bad about the president, you're a bad person, or vice versa. It don't have to be that way. So the things that are going on with the current president, uh, it's things we've never seen before. I don't know how that's going to impact us, long term. Going back to your point, there was things about President Biden, who I've met several times, by the way, even before he became president. Like, what are we doing here? It's like, so I would tell you my experience as a mayor, I never question another elected official. Once you sit in a seat, And here's why I say that. You have no idea what's on their desk and what they're sitting there and they're trying to put a puzzle together and they're trying to work in the best interest of the people. My first year as a mayor was one of the most challenging times in my 6 years. I had to deal with a national, if not international, state of emergency with the COVID. And everything was on there. The mayor has to deal with the state of emergency. And then you had the other thing, you had the civil unrest. All of that was unfolding at the same time. Where's the playbook at? Hey, Mayor Olive, you didn't leave me a playbook. There is no playbook. You got to figure it out. And you got all these people coming at you, and you got people lying on social media and saying you did this because and it's a lie. But it's polarized because of what they're seeing on social media and what is being done at the national level. So my response to your question is, hey, there's a lot of unknowns. I don't know what to think,
Yeah. Right.
but I'm working for Apex.
I love that. Well, how did we were gonna do this mental health? Tell me about what was it called? 1,000-man march, Million-man march?
It's called March 1000. Yeah,
March 1,000.
March
Sorry.
1000. Yes, sir. Yeah, March 1000. It was great, man. It was something we put together in 2 months. It might have been less than 2 months, and we didn't get. We wanted it. Our goal was 1,000 men.
Mhm.
I think we came up with 750 that showed
Pretty
up,
close.
which is not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna drive it again next year. But my goal was really just to bring men together. I feel like men. To go back, you asked a question about the president and everything. Like during the last administration, there was not a lot of, in my opinion, my thoughts, like men were like not lifted up, and we go through a lot. We experience a lot, and people think that we can handle everything and it's cumulative, and we don't get impacted. Like we don't have feelings and we don't have things we deal with. And I just wanted, using my platform, I just wanted people to know, hey, I struggle just like you do. I have to deal with things, and I need help.
I really wanna help with that. Next time you do it again, I wanna be
Please.
more involved. I wanna definitely get involved in that because men's mental health in particular is very, very close to my heart. I've had a lot of friends that have committed suicide. I myself, due to alcohol and drug addiction, I tried to commit
Yes, sir.
suicide a couple times before I moved out here.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's just I feel like a lot of my friends now are kinda just stuck in this it looks like depression, but they won't admit it, and you can't really tell anybody how they're feeling. So, I
Hmm.
don't know how to get through that wall with some of my close friends. And that's something I've been trying to figure out over the last year. Like, how do we really get men to you gotta be vulnerable. I think that's the secret is you have to be able to be vulnerable and tell somebody you trust about your thoughts and your problems. Like
Yes, sir.
I come up with a lot of my own solutions just by speaking out loud to another person. Like talking
Oh
is
wow.
such a very big thing in my view.
Oh man, I love that. I love that, Chris. So yeah, you're going to be a speaker at our next March 1000. I,
I
I
love it.
I need you in there because again, so many people can gain from you because you have experience I don't have, right? And then in some circles I have experience you don't have. So I want you to be right there with me, and I want you to be one of the presenters. I
I
think
would
that'd
love
be
to.
great.
I would
Yes,
absolutely
sir.
love to. I've
Thank
been
you.
telling friends like you. I have another good friend, Dr. Joe Shepard. He's kind of connected to these bigger church groups and networking groups. And I am trying to get in front of people to speak. I have some stuff to say. And I got some important stuff that I think can help.
Good. And you're willing to be vulnerable. I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. I think I do it so often that sometimes I do it in a casual conversation, just be vulnerable because that's who I am. And it strikes people off. It takes people off guard. They're like, "Hey," and I'm like, "No, don't worry about that. This is how I do it.
Yeah.
This is how I
Oh
talk
man, I
about my
love
problems
that.
because that helps me."
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But I definitely I was that's what originally I wanted to get you on the podcast and talk about first because I was connected with that. That really hits a soft spot.
But it was a great event. We had free food, which we learned from that because we never said the food was free. So we had all these grills going. You could smell the barbecue in the air. They had ribs, chicken, all pay. I paid for everything out of my personal. And so people, a lot of guys left because, and then when asked the question, they like, well, we didn't bring money. I was like, there was no need to have money. It was free. Everything was free, but we didn't broadcast that enough. So next year we're going to put free food,
Yeah,
free food, free
definitely,
food.
and I'll help. You know what else I'll do? I'll provide free music if you're willing. My band,
Yes.
I can play for hours, but I just formed a band, so we can play for hours now.
Well, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
do
we'll
it.
play for free.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's go. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I got a lightning round. That's all I had planned for the end.
Okay,
I
let's
think
go.
did I send you the questions?
You know what? I intentionally I you sent the questions, but I didn't even look at them because I was like, nah, I'm not going to look at the questions because I just want to respond, man, and I want
Genuine
him to
reactions. Okay.
reach your reaction. Yes, so I didn't look at him.
All right. Well, let's go for the lightning round. Almost above average with
Okay,
Mayor Jacques Gilbert. Here we go. What's the most apex thing you've done this week?
I work at a place called Pot Belly for 20 minutes just to show the people how difficult it is to make sandwiches at Pot Belly. It was a new business open, so I would say that's it. That was the most interesting thing.
That's a very apex thing to do. How was Potbelly
Apex thing.
sandwiches, by the way?
Well, I didn't get any meat because I'm on a like a meat fast. It was good though. I had this veggie sandwich. It was delicious.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that was Apex thing, just showing people, hey, I can do this too, and it's for the benefit of other community members.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
that. If you had to sum up Apex in one word, what would it be?
mm. Caring.
Caring.
When there's a need, I can put it out there, and people knock down the doors and say, "I want to help."
I'll
You just
second
got to
that.
show them that you got to show them the need, and people are willing. They just don't know what the need is.
Right.
So I try to do my best in getting that out.
Nice.
So we're very caring people.
I would agree with that. Where I'm from, I don't know. I either think where my hometown has a bunch of just depressed assholes in it, or the people in North Carolina are just very open and nice.
Yeah, and that's why I go back to that, Chris. You said it right. So this whole thing about labels and saying, "Oh, because these people who live here their whole life, who by the way may be Republican, they're really their hospitality is off the chart.
Yeah. It's
You just
crazy.
gotta
Even the ones
know
that
them.
hate you, like I've been with some racist homeowners and I know that they don't like the fact that I'm a little bit brown, but they're still
Yeah,
super nice. Would you like some
they
pride?
see
Like, yeah,
it's interesting for sure.
yeah, pretty
So
crazy.
caring,
Always when I get
compassionate,
out in the
either one.
country.
Yes, 100.
Yeah. Okay. What song always gets you pumped up before a big event?
Oh man, see that's man, you shouldn't have done that, man. You shouldn't have done that at all. Cause that's so many, man. I'll go back to Stomp is really a good song, man. You make me wanna stomp. Oh yeah. Make me clap my hands. Make me wanna dance. It's a gospel song. Stomp.
Oh, okay. I thought
You
I
ever
was
heard
thinking
that?
of this one song, but I was like, that doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. That's one. But then there's what is that? The one that plays at Virginia Tech. They played the Virginia Tech game. Oh my gosh. Exit light. Enter light.
Enter Sandman,
Take
Metallica.
my head. That's it. That one. I love
Okay.
that one.
All
Yeah,
right.
I couldn't think of the name of it, but yeah, I know how it goes. Yeah, Enter Sandman.
That was
That
a
one.
curveball. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Look at
Interesting.
that.
All right. So the mayor of Apex is a rocker. I
That's
like
right.
it.
I like all genres, man. I like them all. Yeah.
All right. What Apex restaurant should every visitor try at least once?
Man, you did that to me again. Come on, Chris. You can't do that.
Did I ask you for the restaurant?
Yeah, you can't do that because now you're putting the mayor on the spot.
You're
But
right.
it's a
You're right.
lightning route. No, I can do it though. I'm gonna respond because you asked me the question.
Right. You're in a sticky situation. We got him on the ropes, guys. What's he gonna say? Hit subscribe. This is gonna be good.
Look, man, I want all the people listening to me. Every restaurant in Apex is good. But I'm going to say my go-to, although I'm on a meat fast, I'm going to come back to meat at some point. It's got to be Salem Street Pub, downtown Apex.
Salem Street Pub?
Salem Street Pub. They have good burgers. They have good sandwiches. It is really good. And just the atmosphere, man. And the owners, I love them.
I'm gonna have to try that. I was predicting you were gonna say Apex Wing or Tap Station.
Yeah, I like those too. And then now you got me. I like Dallas chicken and Dallas famous chicken and biscuits. And you got me talking about them all, man. Can't do that. And then cookout is coming. Cookout is coming. Oh, man. Stop it.
There
Stop it.
isn't a cookout in Apex, is there?
No, man. I've been working on that for a while. It's officially coming to Apex Cookout. We're going to have it,
Whatever you did to make that happen, Mayor, we appreciate you.
my man. We
Cookout
got
is
you.
a national state. Like, it's my favorite restaurant since I moved out here. Cookout is like the In-N-Out burger is to the West Coast out here.
Yeah, yeah. I've never had
So
an In-N-Out burger, but I want to get there and have it one day.
please do. I would say it's better than Cookout.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. All right. Are you an early bird or a night owl? Early?
Up every morning, 5:30, talking, studying, meditating,
Okay.
in the word. Hey, I'm a morning. My wife would tell you she don't like it.
Like, because you wake her up?
Yeah, she's not an early bird. She's like, no, no, no. I'm an early bird.
Take me through your morning routine when you open your eyes. What
Five
happens?
5:30. 5:30. I'm up. I am into the word, studying Monday,
First thing
Wednesday,
before you look at your
Fridays.
phone?
Yep. I don't. Well, on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm actually in this men's. It's called New Men's Overcomer Group, and it's a church called Mount Gilead in Virginia. But they have this large men's group, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday they do a call, and it's from 5:45 to right around 6:45, and we're just listening to what the pastor talked about that Sunday or Wednesday, and they're breaking it down and just giving their thoughts about scripture and things. So I'm doing that. And then once I do that, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I roll into the gym. So I have a 7 o'clock gym appointment on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, I just go out and walk the dogs early. But after my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, after the gym, when I get off at 8, I walk the dogs. So I don't even go to social media until after I get that done. So I'm not on social media until around 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
Nice. I
Yeah.
try to do that, but I have a little, like, first thing I do when I wake up, I journal. I create a plan for the day. Then I cold plunge and I take a shower. Then
Cold plunge.
I'll look at my, it's kind of like a cold plunge. I got a really big jacuzzi tub in the house that I stay in.
Really?
So I just fill it
Yeah.
with cold water and I do it every morning.
Does that work, man?
Yes, like I love that. I've been doing it for maybe a month straight now. And I feel that I'm more alert once I get out. Like, no matter what
Okay.
state I enter in, I feel the same coming out.
Wow.
Like,
I got to try that at some point.
it's the
Yeah.
brain is what my
Okay.
benefit is.
Yeah.
It
Very good.
puts me on a level field when I'm out. I'm like, all right, let's go.
I like that. I'm going to
Yeah,
try.
I love
Yeah.
try it. They're only like $40 on Amazon too.
Okay, cool.
So we went through your fitness routine. Tell me about your diet.
So yeah, what I shared, like I eat pretty clean. I've been on a meat fast since for 8 weeks. My intent was just do 1 week. It was a spiritual cleansing, and it just felt good, man. And now I feel better just eating vegetables, and I do get protein from, like, peanuts and other protein sources, more plant-based proteins, but no meat. So I'm very clean at eating, and I do eat some sweets every now and then, but not a lot.
Yeah,
That's my diet, man. Yeah, and I eat often. I eat a lot during the day, but it's just not heavy stuff.
yeah, no fast food, not a whole lot of cookout in your life.
I have eaten cookout before, yeah, and I probably will eat it once they come to Apex. It's going to be only 4 blocks from my house, so I'm sure I'm going to be there often.
The frequent flyer.
Yes, yep,
Yeah, anything's good in moderation though. Like,
that's right. Yeah,
once or
no
twice a
no hate
month,
at
I'm
all.
all right.
No hate, no hate.
All right, what's the one app you can't live without?
What's the name of the music app? Spotify.
iTunes, Spotify.
Spotify. I
I
gotta
knew
have
it.
it.
What is your favorite hidden gem in Apex that most people overlook?
Ooh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna say it's a very popular spot, but I think that there's still people who may look at it and say, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't even go there. I'm gonna say the Skate Plaza.
Is that at the park, the skate park? I know that place well.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because you can sit there and watch determination, people who don't give up,
Hmm.
and they're consistent and persistent, perseverance. They keep trying over and over and over again. And you sit there and just watch, and you learn from
Hmm.
people. You also see young kids just starting to learn how to skate, and then you see families there. So it's a really true illustration of community. You get
It is.
so pumped by seeing it. Yeah,
I've had the same experience, and I'll say this about the skate park here in or there in Apex. Like, it's very community like. Like, even the punk older kids are really
that's
nice
right.
to the younger kids. It's not
That's right.
like that where I'm from. Like, that's why it
Oh, wow.
stands out to me. And the soccer field that's over there, the really nice turf soccer field, it's a lot of families gather over there. Like that whole place
100%.
is very family oriented. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yep.
What is the strangest question you've been asked as a mayor?
The strangest question I've been asked as a mayor, I would say, can't you just stop all the building? Don't you have the power to do that? Stop all new communities being built? No, I can't. I don't have that power.
I wonder what was making that individual angry.
Traffic and no, it's a really interesting thing because people are seeing so many people move in, so they think, well, we don't want anybody else moving to Apex. We want close the doors, don't let anybody else in. My response is like, hey, listen, there's one way you can solve that. But you can buy up all the properties that's available in Apex, and that way you can guarantee no developer can build on it.
Brilliant mind.
Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, you got to look at the house you live in currently. Someone bought that property and developed it so you can live there.
Right. Was that satisfactory to him?
But yeah, once I what you and again it goes back to communication. When people don't know, they don't understand, they they create narratives and they make things up because they just don't have the information. We have to be intentional about getting people what we're really doing. What is development about? What does it mean? What can we do? What can't we do? All that stuff has got to be it's got to be messaged in the way that they can really understand it and talk in terms that is like people can really get it. I think oftentimes elected officials speak their language is so like throwing all these terms out and like people don't know what that is. So I'm trying to break it down.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you one more question. This is a very, I need to make sure you understand the question. Okay.
All
It's
right.
very
Okay.
intentional. And I want you to name someone that we both know intimately. Okay. Who is your favorite roofer?
Roofer.
Roofing company or a podcaster named Chris?
Our podcast named Chris. Yes,
Is it the
sir.
Almost Above Average podcast?
Yes, yes, that one. Yeah, yeah. There it is. There's my response.
That was a silly question. It didn't land like I wanted to, but I'll keep working it.
We'll try it next time. We'll try it next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else you want the community to know with the broader worldwide audience of the Almost Above Average podcast?
Well, I want the community to know that the Above Average podcast is certainly something they need to really pay attention to. A great brother leading it, and I just want them to know that you can learn a lot from him, and that he has the mayor's support. That's what I want the people to know.
Oh, I love that. I didn't tell you this, but I am planning to run for political office when I get to 50.
My man. Whatever I can do to help you, you got an endorsement. How
Well,
about
we're
that?
in. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jacques. I appreciate Jacques Gilbert,
That's right.
right? I almost said it
Yes,
the
sir.
wrong way, but I really appreciate you taking the time and being on the podcast. That was really fun. I had a really good
Yeah.
conversation with you. I appreciate it.
Same here, man. Great questions. You are natural, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we'll do it again. I'm sure I'll come up with another plan and shoot you a text like, hey, man, I got this idea. Let's do it.
Let's make it work.